This was by far the most desperate operation the Navy SEALs had ever launched, because their target this time was none other than a seasoned, decorated former SEAL team commander. As the helicopter roared overhead, Reese didn't even try to hide. In fact, he turned on his phone, intentionally giving away his location signal. But when the team reached the coordinates, Reese was nowhere to be found. What they didn't realize was they'd walked right into a trap. By the time they spotted the phone on the ground, it was already too late.
Down!
Taking advantage of their momentary disorientation, Reese suddenly rose from a pile of fallen leaves, tackled one SEAL to the ground, grabbed his backpack, and vanished into the smoke. He sprinted into the woods and cracked open a battery to generate a heat source, throwing off their thermal tracking system. As a former SEAL commander, Reese knew every tactic in their playbook. His decoy wouldn't last long, but it would buy him just enough time to escape. However, just then, his brain tumor flared up, and the intense dizziness nearly knocked him out. That brief moment of weakness gave the SEAL team time to catch up. Reese gritted his teeth and pushed himself uphill. But Reese had no intention of going down quietly, not until he avenged his family.
On the move! Fire!
He climbed toward the mountain peak, only to be shocked when he reached a sheer 100-meter cliff with nowhere left to go. The SEAL team was rapidly closing in behind him. With no other choice, he raised his sniper rifle and aimed it directly at the approaching team below. One pull of the trigger, and they'd be dead on the spot. But as he looked down at the men he once served with, Reese hesitated. They were just following orders. He couldn't bring himself to pull the trigger. Soon, the SEALs crept silently up to the summit. But when they got there, all they found was the cliff edge. Reese had vanished. Then one of the agents spotted a single bullet standing upright on a rock. He had no idea what it meant.
What does this mean?
Means he had the shot, Leung. Found some blood in the underground.
They never would have guessed. Reese had climbed straight down the near-vertical cliff face, but just before reaching the bottom, disaster struck. His injured shoulder throbbed with searing pain, causing him to lose his grip and fall. Luckily, the drop wasn't fatal, but his shoulder wound tore open, blood streaming down. As night fell, Reese found a cave to rest in, tend to his injury, and check his remaining supplies, getting ready for the next phase of the fight.